Hello guys, hi, hope you're all keeping really well. I'm back for another video. So essentially this is a response to James Griffiths' video that he put up the other day, entitled Trooping the Blue. And as the name suggests, unless of course you've watched his video already, in which case you know exactly what it's all about. He was just looking for a theme to, instead of just showing records that he's been playing, it's been in his inbox for the last few weeks or whatever. He thought he'd put a theme on it just to make it a bit different, and decided to show records that had a blue cover or were predominantly blue on the front cover. So yeah, so he kind of unwittingly sort of stumbled across a thread. I don't think he probably initially intended it as a thread, but then after he sort of thought about it, he figured that, well, yeah, that would kind of work as a theme. And yeah, I think a couple of people I've seen already. Richard McCook did a response yesterday, I think. So yeah, I mean, these kind of simple threads, they're always interesting, and a lot of people, I'm sure, out there have blue themed records, either blue in the title or blue, obviously cover. Predominantly the cover art is blue. So yeah, I sort of, when I started going through, I realized that I'd got absolutely loads, to be honest with you, far more than I actually originally thought. And I was just pulling them out left, right and center. It kind of started to get a bit ridiculous. So I had to kind of put some back. So yeah, but I think I've got about, I don't know, I've got about 20 or something. So I'm going to really try and whip through them quickly. Not going to talk an awful lot about them. A lot of them probably, many of you, I would think, are probably already familiar with. One or two less so, I guess. But yeah, okay. So let's kick off. So okay, so the first one, this is actually a new release that came out September last year. This is the wonderful Nick Harper, and this is Earth Day Blue. So this is Nick Harper, of course, Roy Harper's son. Incredibly gifted, talented, just like his father, but quite different in stylistically. He's quite funky. For any of you who've heard his records or seen him live, like I have, he kind of retunes his guitar up. He's got special winders built on a Loudon guitar that he plays, and he's just a complete virtuoso. One of the best acoustic guitar players certainly I've ever seen. So anyway, yeah, so I'm not going to talk an awful lot about this because I've only just picked this up, and I'll probably go into it in a bit more detail on my next Finds video. But anyway, so that's Earth Day Blue by Nick Harper. Okay, next one, French artist, sadly no longer with us, but has been hugely influential. And certainly a lot of artists like Bowie, Scott Walker, etc. have covered his songs. So this is the wonderful Jacques Brel, and this is his I think this is 77. I think, yep. Just entitled Brel. Yeah, and it's pretty much blue throughout. So yeah, that one definitely qualifies. Okay, another really interesting modern artist. This is Broadcast. This is the Maida Vale sessions. So yeah, kind of like modern sort of trip-hoppy, psyche, very 60s orientated, a little bit Portishead like perhaps. I think the singer's no longer with us, unfortunately. But yeah, this is album I think that they did at the end of the 90s, recorded in one evening. Oh, the first side's recorded in 96, and the second, which was a Peel session, and the second session was an evening session recorded in the studio in 1997. Side C, John Peel session again in 2000, and then a further John Peel session recorded in August 2003. So yeah, sort of spanning a good few years there. But yeah, it's just wonderfully atmospheric, wonderfully recorded. Really, really great listen, that one. Okay, 80s classic from the wonderful Scottish post-punk band, new wave, new romantic, I guess. The Associates, wonderful Associates. This is their 1982 album, Sulk. Obviously, you've got the Sublime Party Fears 2 single on this, but I love the two instrumentals, Arrogance, Gave Him Up, and Nothing in Something Particular, I think are fantastic. And another singer, sadly, who's no longer with us either. Okay, this is an interesting one. So we've got Mason Williams. So this is the, I think was he American or English? Not altogether quite sure. But he did. He's famous for the instrumental Classical Gas. This is a really, really interesting album. He's a great guitar player, but it's quite orchestrated and arranged as well. But yeah, really, really interesting listen. I think this is from 68, is it? I think 67 or 68, not quite sure. Okay, bit of new age ambient music, courtesy of George Winston. This is one of his season inspired records, which I think he did 4 or 5. I think I've got them all. I think I've got 4 on record, and then I think he did one called Summer, which I don't know whether that was ever issued on vinyl. Certainly got it on CD. Yeah, these are piano solo, but just really, really nice to listen to, particularly if you listen to them in their corresponding seasons. Okay, famous German progressive band, pioneer of synthesizers, particularly sequence synthesizers. So we've got Tangerine Dream and Rubicon from 1975. Yeah, this is probably arguably my favorite Tangerine Dream album. This is the one that I tend to reach out to when I want just something really quiet and soporific. Okay, sticking with Tangerine Dream, so we've got Edgar Froese, and I think this is his debut solo album, Aqua, from 1974. That's not very blue, is it? Just as well the cover is. Yeah. So another nice one to listen to late at night. Boys, Denim Boys, the quote, Blue for You. Yeah, highlight for me off this is the last song, Mystery Song. I think it's fantastic. It's really why I bought this, to be honest with you. I don't really listen to an awful lot of 70s quo, but I do like putting that on every now and again. Okay, some early Bob Seger here. Bob Seger System. Rambling Gambling Man. I was trying to find the year on this actually. Nowhere on the record it says the year. I think was it about 71, 72, is it? Something like that. Nice bit of American soft rock there. Of course, these guys have been in the media with their #1 album, Mad, not so long ago. I think May was it? I think. So yeah, the Male Brothers Sparks, fantastic. I think I've shown this album several times over the years. Propaganda, their second album from '74, almost as good as Kimono, not quite, but very, very close. Comes a very close second. So we've got some mid-70s glam rock here, Roxy Music, their last album before they went really smooth. This is kind of where I jump off with Roxy Music. So this is their 5th album, Siren. Highlights for me on this, Love Is the Drug. I love both ends burning as well. It's fantastic. And Sentimental Fool. And Jerry Hall on the cover there. Was this his debut? I think it was. So Don McLean, Tapestry. Yeah, this is a wonderful, wonderful record. Real cheap heat. You pick this up so cheap. You know, you often see this for £1, £2. Fantastic. It's got the wonderful Castles in the Air, and I'll Ever So. Wonderful record. Probably my second or third favourite Van Morrison album from '72, St. Dominic's Preview, the wonderful Jackie Wilson Said, Gypsy, the lovely extended piece Listen to the Lions, fantastic, and of course the great ebullient title track. So yeah, Van Morrison, St. Dominic's Preview from '72. Still in the '70s, I think this is '71, is it? So we've got Elton and Madman Across the Water. Yeah, this one's very blue, and that you don't get much more blue than that. So yeah, Tiny Dancer. I absolutely love the title track as well off this album. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, really, really strong, solid early album. Then we have the wonderful Hawkwind from 1980. Was it 85? I should know. I went to the concert. Chronicle of the Black Sword. Oh, that's the program anyway from the gig. I think it was 85. Yeah, it was. It was 1985. So another one of their albums based on Michael Moorcock stories, sort of collaborative project. Yeah, the single Needle Gun is pretty good. Song of the Sword. They're getting a little bit more metal, perhaps, Hawkwind on this album. Less of the motoric sound or psychedelic feel of their earlier work, but nonetheless still a solid album. Great bit of early 80s pop here. I think this is Go-Go's debut Beauty and the Beat. Belinda Carlisle's band before she went stratospheric. Of course, as the wonderful Our Lips Are Sealed, co-written with Terry Hall, of course. It's got some great songs on it. It's a good fun album, that. Okay, still going, just a few more. This is a really good folk compilation of David Graham. This is folk, blues and all points in between. So this is a kind of retrospective from his early 60s up to his more experimental later 60s work, where you can kind of really hear the likes of Jimmy Page and Bert Jansch. You know, he's trying different tunings and all sorts. I mean, this guy was the first one to really play about with tunings and different chords and so on. Wonderful stuff. Okay, still in the 60s, we've got The Sound of Patsy Cline, wonderful country singer. Of course, you've got Crazy, Willie Nelson song. It was probably the biggest and most well-known song, but plenty to enjoy on this record. Okay, James mentioned it in his video, but he didn't show it. So I've got Can and Soon Over Babaluma, which was, I think, the album from '74 that they did after Damo Suzuki's exit from the group. And this has my favourite Can song, the opener, Dizzy Dizzy. I absolutely love that. Wonderful. And I think it's a really solid album. Doesn't always get the love of, you know, Tagamago or Future Days, but still a great listen. Okay, just a couple more to go now. Kind of a transitional record for this Celtic folk act. So you got Clannad, wonderful Clannad, and the soundtrack to TV series from 1984, Legend, Robin Hood, of course. Yeah, I love the title track, Now Is Here. Scarlet Inside's fantastic. Yeah, they're playing with synths and so on, and it's got that 80s, slight 80s sheen to it, but it's the songs and Mary Brennan's voice is fantastic. So that's Clannad and Legend. And to finish off, a power pop classic. I think this was a posthumous release for Chris Bell of Big Star. A lot of people are split on this record. This is his, I think this is his only solo album, I Am the Cosmos, which I think pretty much mops up all his post Big Star work. In fact, I think Alex Chilton's playing on quite a few tracks on this. This wonderful picture here that was actually taken by Chris Bell's brother. And sort of, yeah, really exemplifies the kind of isolation, loneliness of the feel of some of the material on this record. I really like this album. It's wonderful. Okay, so that's it. 20 minutes and I'm done. Hope some of you are still awake through that. And if you decide to do this thread, I hope I haven't stolen too many of your records. Anyway, thanks to James for the inspiration, and obviously go out and check James's channel out. He's very knowledgeable, Does some great collaborative videos as well. Always knowledgeable. You know, he writes books on, you know, Squeeze, the likes of Squeeze and Queen. Really creative guy, and yeah, go and check him out if you're not already subscribed. So, but yeah, okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up now. I do have a few records that I've bought recently, but not that many. So hopefully in the next week or two, I will do a catch-up video and just show the records that I have bought. And until then, I shall bid you adieu. And yeah, enjoy showing your blue records, those who decide to have a go. So anyway, all the best, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.